So today kicks off Modern Warfare 3 Season 5, and today we're breaking down everything that changed across Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer and Warzone. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and make sure to subscribe for more Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, Black Ops 6, and other FPS coverage here on the channel. I'd love to have in the community. For now, let's talk about what changed in the Modern Warfare 3 Season 5 update. So let's start with the multiplayer side of things. We of course know all of the content coming to Modern Warfare 3. We've already detailed all of that in the Season 5 reveal video last week. New weapons, modes, maps, operators, battle pass, all that stuff. But to save the monotony of running down all of that again, we got those things, we already know that. The only thing that I will say, and I'll add up front here and content-wise, is the new weapon prestige camo for Season 5, which is unlocked after earning 250,000 XP on the weapon of your choice. But that's after you have to earn one trick camo for 150,000 XP, then molten obsidian for another 200,000 XP after that. So a grand total of 600,000 weapon XP after you rank up that preferred or weapon you're going for to its max rank. To me, this one looks like another more animated version of Polyatomic from Modern Warfare 2, mixed with a bit more color shift in it, but it's definitely going to look familiar to some that I think maybe you like it, maybe you find it missable, but that is added as of today's update. Gameplay changes for Modern Warfare 3 in particular. Besides a few bug fixes and adjustments, there are a few smaller changes worth noting, but nothing in terms of like quantity that blows your mind or anything. One huge one that I love though is the tracked challenges now expanded its limit from 5 tracked at a time to 10. So you can track even more challenges, which I think is phenomenal. I really do hope that this feature returns in Black Ops 6, but for now, we've got more to track in Modern Warfare 3. Kill streaks now no longer contribute towards earning your next streak in multiplayer, but the looping streaks modifier is now on by default thanks to positive feedback, as they've said. So hopefully, again, maybe Treyarch takes note on this one. I'd love to see looping streaks, even if just for support streaks. I love having that additional UAV, advanced UAV when I'm getting close to a nuke streak, but anyways, also in the way of the streaks, the DNA bomb now is no longer going to be that sort of air quote nuke streak because it's no longer the theme of the season. It's once again the MGB is that nuke streak that you earn, though I do think that they could coexist if you did like a 30 streak, even with streaks counting towards that is your DNA bomb that keeps the game going, but then the MGB is the 25 gun streak that ends the game, as we've seen since Modern Warfare 2 launched. So I feel like that could have been a thing, but that's just me. Other than that, there's a lot of minor things, but the weapon and perk balancing is definitely worth mentioning. As always with our sort of mention of this weapon balancing, we're not going to go into specific detail on every single number given and everything, but on screen will be a sort of reference. Green is a buff, red is a nerf, yellow is just, it kind of fixed an issue. It didn't really do anything to benefit or hurt the weapon, it just fixed something. The Ball 27 ended up getting a buff where they targeted mainly the recoil magnitude of the weapon, meaning that it's hopefully after this update is easier to control in sustained fire. The Superi 46 ended up getting a massive nerf to a bunch of the different movement attributes, which makes sense. It was the sort of run and gun SMG for the entirety of Season 4. The FJX Horus ended up getting the same sort of treatment, a nerf across the board to some of the movement attributes, but mainly a lot of the damage ranges. The Reclaimer 18 saw a nerf and a buff to the semi-auto fire type, but buffs all around to the pump action fire type, increasing the weapon's damage output at hip fire. The KV Broadside saw a buff to the vertical recoil, meaning there's less, and the MX Guardian saw a little bit of a fix to it with an incompatible underbarrel. The LMGs, the Polymiot 762, saw an increase to the upper arm and lower arm damage. The MTZ Interceptor saw nerfs to the damage range and body modifiers. The EBR 14 fixed an issue. The XRK Stalker increased the upper leg, lower leg, and foot damage multipliers, and the Carrack 300 ended up getting a buff as well to the max damage range and the near to medium damage range as well. The Core 45 saw nerfs to it, the Tier saw a buff, and the melee of the Sledgehammer ended up getting decreased in that movement speed and heavy swing melee range. So a decent bit of nerfs and buffs across the board, but honestly one of the things that I'm probably the most interested out of these adjustments to the balancing for Modern Warfare 3 is the perks. Each vest saw an adjustment here to it where I don't really consider any of these to be nerfs because it just simply adds the ability to have more stuff on your person depending on what vest you end up equipping. So the Engineer vest added a lethal equipment, Gunner added a boot slot, Demolition vest added a second gear perk slot, the CCT comms vest added a tactical equipment, and so on and so forth. Just offering you more in ways to create your class rather than how it previously limited it by not having these before this update. So I think a nice adjustment here with this, but that is your sort of Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer update. Jumping over to Warzone, there's a bit more in regards to content and, of course, gameplay changes. Content-wise, Superstore is being added, so that's going to be the insanely hot drop for the next little while. If you're kill hungry in Urzikstan, you're more than welcome to tackle that challenge. I would be curious, though, in the sort of coming days whenever everybody's trying to jump into there, I am curious to see how quickly some of those matches die off with how many people would go to Superstore to those that don't. Like, are you going to be in first circle and there's going to be like 30 people left? Maybe. Who knows? But anyways, beyond that, we've got a decent bit of things. The redeploy drone beacon is a redeploy balloon from Caldera, if you guys remember that, where it's portable. You can use it for your whole squad for a limited time, and then it'll go away. It's a field upgrade, so that'll be a nice way to traverse big map or small maps. Doesn't matter. The bounty contest public event occurs in circles 2 to 5, where the bounty contest assigns a bounty contract to each team, meaning players are always going to have a hunt or be hunted. Then completing a bounty will reassign another, so just keeps chaining those together. The buy station inventory has been adjusted, where the new RDB or redeploy drone beacon, that's going to be available with limited stock for 2 for 4,000, excluding Vondel, and then in Resurgence, Specialist has been added to the buy stations outside of Ranked with a limit of 1 per buy station for 30,000. The redeploy weapons in Resurgence, handgun attachments have been refreshed, and they updated a few primary weapons supplied later into the matches. Public events, you'll see the introduction of the bounty contest, reducing the chances of the occupation scan on Rebirth Island and Vondel, and the rogue signal on Fortune's Keep. Solo contract behavior quality of life will now no longer see the cancellation of contracts if you are limited in Resurgence solos. The Champions Quest timers were decreased for solos, duos, trios, and quads, just bringing down the amount for those Resurgence elements a little bit by probably a few seconds depending on what mode you're in. There's a dynamic gas mask overlay as a quality of life feature, which is a huge win, I think, where the gas mask overlay will now fade in and out depending on if you're in the gas or not. This way, you can equip a gas mask at any time without having the vision impacted. So you can have it on. If you want it on, it just won't show the overlay as you'd see it beforehand. That's a huge thing. I actually probably will have a gas mask on all the time now. That way I don't have to have it taking up an inventory slot in the backpack. And honestly, I feel like this is finally where we've wanted it to be, at least as of the time of recording this. Full transparency, I'm talking about this before the update's actually live. So that could be something that maybe not, but in theory, that's what we've been asking for a while. We just don't want that animation to pull it down, but we want the effects of it both on and off. So huge win in my opinion if it actually does work. The reinforcement flare is added as a sort of widget on your HUD whenever there is one available, and the plate carriers now have a proper stow prompt that appears when looking at the plate carrier loot card. As for your Warzone rewards in Season 5, we do have the same follow-up system as what we had from last season with the 4 sets of challenges. You have Combat Expertise, which is focused on getting weapons and eliminations, Cooperation, which is communicating with your squad, Mobility, which helps you get into the action, and Redacted, which are all mysterious challenges. They don't have any details on that just yet. Now, if you complete all of those challenges, each category will, of course, give you another camo, but if you complete all 4 camo challenges, you'll end up getting the Sports Icon Weapon Blueprint for the Bruin. So an added little benefit here for doing all of those. And also, the Champions Quest reward refresh now comes along with the Super Slick camo, which looks pretty cool. I actually think I might go for this one, but that's available for those that are at all interested. Now, to close out this video and talking about everything with the update, let's talk about weapon balancing for Warzone. The rifles of the weapons adjusted all ended up getting buffs, some a little larger than others. The Ball 27 in terms of just sheer quantity ended up getting the most, but again, focusing more so on that recoil magnitude, making it again easier to control over sustained fire. It did increase the max damage range as well. The SVA saw a decent buff to the max damage range as well, which is interesting given the sort of hyper burst functionality the weapon has. It's already a solid choice, but this made it a little bit more powerful. The battle rifles of the BAS-B and the TAC-V saw minimal buffs, but buffs no less. The submachine guns, we saw a mixed bag here at this one, where your AMR 9 and a few of the weapons from Modern Warfare 2 in the way of the Minibok, PDSW, Vel 46, and Vaznev all ended up seeing buffs to them, increasing a lot of those damage range properties, some of the modifiers as well. But really, the big 2 that got hit from Modern Warfare 3 are the ones that got hit in Warzone as well, with the FJX Horus, again, decreasing those damage ranges and increasing the sprint to fire time, and the Sapuri ended up getting, again, most of its movement attributes nerfed in some way or another. The WSP9, interestingly, saw a leg modifier decrease, which I didn't see coming, but it was something that did get adjusted this update. The LMGs, we saw a mixed bag once again, but mostly buffs here across the board. The Bruin saw a damage range increase, which will actually be pretty interesting to see how that plays out, because that's kind of a substantial damage range increase to that on an already decent weapon. The Holger 26, while it was a very powerful weapon, I don't know that this will take it out of the air quote meta or where it's at right now by lowering the torso modifier. The Polymiot 762, TAC Eradicator, and TAC Evolvery all ended up seeing some minor adjustments as well. That Polymiot actually had a decent max damage range increase, so keep that one in the back of your mind maybe. The Reclaimer 18 saw those, again, fixing of an issue, but also the increase to the rate of fire. The KV Broadside decreased its vertical recoil, and then the handgun of the Core and the melee weapon of the Sledgehammer all had nerfs as well. So that is your Season 5 weapon balancing across Warzone and Modern Warfare 3, the content added, gameplay changes, all that kind of stuff in a nutshell. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this update? Do you like what, at least on paper, is given to us here with this? Do you think it's going to be something that differs greatly when you get into the game? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. We're doing all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, Black Ops 6, and anything FPS related. I'd love to have in the community. For now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.